So this weekend I'm going to be making some sourdough bread. So I just wanted to kind of show you the process. I have my sourdough starter. I took it out of the refrigerator this morning and I have to feed it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. This is, what day is this? This is Friday. And I'm going to feed it today. Tomorrow I am going to start the baking process. And then Sunday I will finish it up. So it does take a little bit of planning ahead of time. But the steps are pretty simple and it doesn't take that much time as long as you're home to do them. So I'm just gonna show you real quick how I make my sourdough bread. Okay, so first things first, it was in the refrigerator because I don't bake with it often enough to keep it out on the counter. Because if you keep it out on the counter, you have to feed it every day. This starter is probably at least 2 years old. It's nice and active. It does a really good job making bread. If you get a new starter, either if you order one through the mail or I've given away some before, then you can start typically using them right away. If you start your own starter, then you do need to give it several weeks, probably about 6 weeks before it's ready to make bread. But there are other things that you can make with it while you're getting started. But for right now, what I'm gonna do is just show you how I feed my starter since it's been in the refrigerator for a couple of weeks, and then get it ready for baking over the weekend. Okay, so I'm just gonna use some all-purpose flour here. We have about a cup of starter, so I'm gonna use not quite a half a cup of flour. Dump it in here. I went over to the sink, got some water, and I do a little bit less water. I don't measure too much. I'm not super technical with this part because it doesn't really matter as long as you're giving it some fresh water and flour. Just gonna mix this. Now, one thing I have learned over the last little bit is you want the dough to be nice and thick, because then it actually traps the bubbles in here and you can see it rising better. Okay, so actually that might even be a little too much water. Let me show you. But it'll still do what it needs to do. See, it's not runny, it's thick, but if there's too much flour, all it'll do is some of the bubbles will escape and it won't look like it's rising as much as it actually is. But you can see, it's pretty thick still. So then I just take my rubber band, put it down along the bottom. That's why I scrape the sides really well. Put the cover back on, and I'm done until tomorrow. So it took a little while with me showing you, but this really takes like a minute. This is where it's starting. In a couple of hours, it should double, and I'll go ahead and show you that in a few hours. And that's all we do today. Just feed it and get it ready for tomorrow. I got my sourdough starter out yesterday and I fed it, and I'm gonna be baking with it some today. And I took a picture of it last night after it had been rising for a while and how much it had poofed up. But I wanted to show you this morning, it came back down, and that's normal. So if you feed it overnight, and it might rise and then come back down some, and you won't get a really great idea about how much it's actually risen and how active it actually is. So I do like to feed mine in the morning so I can keep an eye on it during the day. But I just wanted to show you that. So this is still really good. I haven't done anything else with it this morning because I am planning on starting the baking process later this afternoon.